Hey guys, tonight we're going to do some do-it-yourself fire starters. First of all, what we're going to need is we're going to need something to melt some wax in over here. And you can see whoever used this last, which didn't happen to me by the way, left some in the bottom. That's okay, we'll just have blue colored fire starters. So I'm going to give this a try. I've never tried this for heating this per se, but I'm going to give it a try. Hopefully I don't ruin it, but if I do, I have another backup. Because I really don't feel like turning on the stove and doing it in the proper way. So, just going to light this baby up here. Alrighty. Hold it like that. See what happens. I'm a little Ziploc challenge, so we'll just set that to the side. Okay. Now we're going to melt these babies up. In my mind I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Hurry up and melt. The camera's boredom sensor is quickly kicking in. So, Mr. Cube of Wax, please melt quick. Anybody want some Kool-Aid? Just kidding. That's a joke. Don't drink this, kids, or anybody else. Isn't there an actual end? I'm showing my ignorance here. It was on the other side. Okay. Alright. I could tie a piece of wire on it to be able to fish it back out, but let's just kind of stick it in there. It's soaked up good there. Okay. We'll let that one dry. I got all of it. You can see the wax soaked in there. Okay, and I bought different sizes because I want to compare the burn time. This is just some, I think this is jute twine here. So, we'll compare this. This cotton rope here, this one right here that we just looked at, this is 1/4 inch cotton rope, okay? So we'll do like a similar length. Yep, that's about the same length, so just so we compare apples to apples. This is 1/8 inch cotton rope. Remember when we cut, we always want to go away from us. So we'll just kind of make a slit there. Set down our knife as we're working with the material. I cut myself once when I was trying to rip off a branch of a tree while holding my knife. Yeah, that didn't feel too good. And this is 1/8 inch cotton rope. Okay, we'll let that dry just a minute. Okay, so so far we've done jute, 1/8 inch cotton rope, and 1/4 inch cotton rope. Now obviously I'm expecting the 1/4 inch to burn the longest, and then the 1/8 inch probably to burn in between, and the jute rope to burn up first. But this is kind of our foundation. We could use these as a fire starter on their own, And we could shorten up the length. It just depends on what you want to carry in your pocket or wherever you're going to have this. We could make this, you know, like this. We could maybe take it from here and see how long it would burn. You know, that's not an inconvenience to carry in your wallet or wherever you need it. So I think these are, this one is getting dry. It needs. Okay. Now we're going to light these up. So I would take this exposed end probably and pry it apart a little bit to expose more fibers. There we go, there we go. That's going to make it a lot easier to catch. Okay, we'll try that. What do you know, first strike. We'll hold it like this so it catches a little. Okay, now it's catching. Okay, now we're going to let these soak in the water here, and we're going to see if it affects whether it'll light up and burn effectively, to simulate what would happen if you lost these, you know, in the water or crossing and it got wet. So we're going to put these into some water here and see if it affects it. Notice that I put the opened end down so that it'll, if it does soak in, it will for sure soak in with the bottom end down. We may want to burn off the end of this or snip it off so there's less or no end exposed, but this will be a little experiment. So I'm going to let those soak a little bit, and then we'll take these back over and we'll compare them to the control for the experiment. Okay, now we're going to see if we can get these ones that were soaked to light up. So all we're going to do first is we're just going to flick them a little bit and then just dry them off like we would normally anything else. Just kind of go like that a little bit. My suspicion is that the exposed part is not going to want to light, and so probably what we're going to have to end up doing is snipping this off so there's only wax, and then to prepare that end, maybe melting a little wax into that or burning it just a hair, something like that. Not sure yet. We're going to see. It's an experiment. It's fun, right? Now what we're going to do is what we would do with anything. When we first start, we're going to open it up. I made a little mistake on this one. There's a little bit of a plastic sheath there, so I'm going to have to take that off if possible, just because I won't be able to spread the fibers otherwise. There we go. So now we're just going to spread that open a little bit. The more fibers you get exposed, more surface area, the easier it lights. The other idea is if this doesn't work, I would just keep peeling until you get into a waxy area, because hopefully it didn't take the moisture all the way down through like capillary action or whatever, or capillary. Hopefully it didn't take it all the way down. I don't know though. So, but if I did have that problem where it got wet, I would probably keep peeling until I got into an exposed area that wasn't affected there. All right. I'm going to light these up as fast as I can so that we can do a good comparison. Okay, I'm going to put my timer on here. Okay. Here we go. Gotta be kidding me. The other one lit right up, first strike. And these aren't the wet ones, for crying out loud. There we go. On to the next one. There we go. See, that one lit right up. There we go. Now these are the wet ones. Oh, this one. There we go. Have to see, when you first light these, apparently you gotta, just like a match, you want to hold them upside down until they get going. This one's already going, okay. Need to start this. Need somebody to help me with these videos, man. Oh, that one almost started there. Peel this apart a little more. I just love ferro rods. They throw an awesome amount of sparks. Try this one. Hey, look at that. The jute fired right up. Oh, no. There it goes. There we go. I really do think that moisture is affecting it, though. That started at the 140 mark. Oh, almost got it. You notice the difference in the flame envelope here? This one is a very small flame envelope on the jute, as you would probably expect because it's the smallest strand. This one has a little bigger envelope, but this one really has a nice big envelope here. This is the 1/4 inch, this is the 1/8 inch, and this is the jute. Cotton, jute. Now, the bottom line is any one of these non-water soaked strands would probably get you a fire going, but if my life depended on it, I would definitely want to have the 1/4 inch, this one here. It's got the biggest flame envelope, and I mean, look at how it lasts. I mean, it's obviously burning through the strand slower than the 1/8 inch because it's thicker, obviously. And the jute is already burned halfway through, and it's got a puny flame envelope, as we talked about earlier. Let me just bring this here so you guys can see better. I don't know if you can see from the camera because it's kind of at an angle. Okay, you see the difference between the flame envelope there? the one on your right is obviously superior to the other two in the center and on the left. We've now been burning for over 7 minutes now, and you still see that we have quite a ways to go. We've only burned probably a little over a third through the 1/4 inch on the right there. We've burned probably 2/3 through that 1/8 inch, and the jute, we're probably getting to about the 2/3 area there. The only one still going of the water-soaked ones is the jute. So I guess if your pack gets soaked, you might have a fighting chance with the jute, but boy, good luck if you've got straight cotton. We've now been burning for 10 minutes. Now if you had a match with you, well then you probably wouldn't need to use these at all necessarily if you knew what you were doing, but say that you did and you wanted to light up this wax end. I almost wonder if this wax end here that wasn't soaked, if it would light up. Let's see. Oops. For crying out loud. You would have thought I never did a strike anywhere match. That's ridiculous. Woo! That was exciting. Yeah, don't let the wax drip. And that, yeah, that lights up nice. And then if you wanted to speed it up, just tip it down, slow it down, go like this. But again, don't let the wax drip on you. This is basically a glorified candle wick is all it is. It's pretty simple though. But yeah, see, look how nicely that burned, and that was water soaked. But what we learned is that the exposed end over here that wasn't soaked in wax, that is just not going to probably light. But I tell you what, let's see if it would light with a match. Let's just do it for kicks and giggles. There we go. Oh, what do you know? There it goes. That's what you call burning the candle from both ends. Couldn't resist. Okay, this one is almost out, not quite. We've just gone over 15 minutes with that. So, what we learned in conclusion is that if you only have a ferrule rod and you're trying to light the exposed end of something like this that has been water soaked, it's probably not going to happen. It didn't happen, right? The only one that did was the jute twine. And that's a finer fiber, so that makes a little more sense. But if you take a match to something like this that has been water soaked, it's going to light right up for you. So that's why I always carry matches, and I always carry my fire steel, because matches are awesome, but you can only get 24 matches in this. This will last for, probably well over 10,000 strikes. So I like to have both. That's just me. You guys can do whatever you want. Some people like to have a magnesium block with them, and there's all manner of ways, to get a fire going. And we're going to call that out. Yep, it's out. Okay, so that lasted, we'll call it 17 minutes. It wasn't quite. But this one, the 1/4 inch, lasted for almost 17 minutes as opposed to 12 minutes and 12.5 minutes for the jute and the 1/8 inch respectively. So you're getting for basically the same amount of length of twine, you're getting basically, what would that be, 4.5 to 5 minutes more out of the 1/4 inch. So that's fantastic.